All right, here we go, section 6. You'll notice that the title of section 5 and section 6 are pretty close, except for that little ugly letter A. Yeah, I'm sorry, I called him ugly. That was mean. Just like the ugly brown door. All right, but so this one's different. Section 5 was x squared plus bx plus c. It meant we had a 1, okay? Now we're gonna have something other than a 1. So that's going to bring in a whole new ball of wax, all right? Now, first thing is to remember the rules where if it's the same, if the C is positive, we have the same signs. What's in front of B tells us what the sign is. If C is negative, the sign in front of B tells us what number is bigger, okay? So that's still going to be true. But the process that we're going through is going to be slightly different because now we have to look at A as well, okay? So I'm probably going to go through and explain a lot of this, but I'd write it down, maybe practice. If you see me about to do a problem, pause it after you see the first example and see if you can do it. All right, so here we go. We have a 5 in front. What we would used to do, or what we used to do, is if we had x squared, we were trying to find the two numbers that multiply together to give us 2, but add to give us 11. And we can't do that anymore. Okay? There are two ways to do this. You can do it by eyeballing it. Okay? First off, my first thought would look at this 5x squared and go, okay, there's only two ways I can write that. It's going to be 5x times x, or x times 5x. So it's the same thing. Okay, so that one is a prime number. Well, this one is 2. I know it has to be a 1 and a 2. So a 1 has to go either here or here, and a 2 goes in the other location. So where would it go in order to make 11? If I put the 2 here and the 1 here, I'm going to get 8. 1, 5 plus 7 plus 2 is 7. So I have to put the 2 here and the 1 here. That way I'm going to get 10 and 1. Okay, and this one tells us they're both the same. This one tells us they're both positive. Okay, now that one requires you to kind of think your way through it. So I looked at the 5x, it has to be 5x and x. I looked at the 2, it has to be a 1 and a 2. Where do they go? Okay, there is another way to do it, and normally I use this, but for some reason when I was practicing this, I didn't think about it. Multiply these two together. 10x squared. Okay, so we take the ax squared and the c, and we multiply them together. And we need to find out what numbers multiply together to give us 10x squared. Okay, so I'm going to have 10x times 1x, or 5x times 2x, okay? But when we add them together, we should get 11. So this one only gives us 7, so that's not it, okay? All right, so the second method is we take what we've written and we multiply the two final numbers together, and what we get should add to give us the middle number. And then we break this one down into those two things, 10x plus 1x, and then we write everything else around it. So it's kind of like we're breaking the like terms apart. We're trying to find a way to get these out of each other. Okay? Two ways that multiply together, two numbers or two values that multiply together to give us 10x squared, but add to give us 11x. Okay, so now you notice that what we can do is we can group two things together and pull out common factors. There's a common factor of 5x here. There's a common factor of 1 here. Look at that, the parentheses are the same. So what I can do is I can take the stuff outside the parentheses, put it together, and then put the parentheses together. You notice? The answer is the same. I'll show that method on the next problem as well. Okay. So I don't know which method you're going to be good at. So you're going to have to learn what you're capable of. Okay, so let's look at this one. I'm going to multiply these two parts together. 6x squared times 5. I get 30x squared. Okay. I want to find out what two numbers multiply together to give me 30x squared, but add to give me 13x. So 10x and 3x. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite this problem, removing the 13x. 6x squared plus 10x plus 3x plus 5. Okay. I'm going to group parts together that have something in common, or at least I think have something in common. So GCF here is 2x. GCF here is 1. Notice the parentheses are the same, so we put them together. Hey, what happened? Okay, and now we take the two things outside the parentheses, and we put it together, and there's our answer. Okay. Now the other way to do it would be to think, how can I get 6? I'll jot that down. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. How can I get 5? There's only one way. 1 and 5. Okay. So I need to think of 1 times 6, 2 times 3, and 1 times 5. And the combination should give me 13. So if I look, I get 5 and 1, 6 and 1, that's 11, 30 and 1, 31. So it's not going to be this one, but I don't have a choice. It has to be this. So 5 times 2 is 10, 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so I'm going to put 2x and 3x. I want the 5 to be multiplied with the 2, so I want it to be right there. And I want the 1 to be right there. Both signs are the same, both signs are positive, so I get the same answer. Okay, so I'm not sure which method you like. I don't know which one I like. I go back and forth based on the problem. Okay, try that one out. Pause it, give it a second. Should be able to see the answer. Okay. Okay, so we're going to keep going. All right, pause this for a minute. We're getting a little bit more difficult. Now remember, we've got a C that's negative, so that means our signs are going to be different. Okay. Same process, negative 140. Two numbers that multiply together to give us negative 140, but add to give us 31. You can do it that method, or you can kind of eyeball it and try and figure it out. Answer. Okay, I'd pause this one too. Okay, so this one's sort of a word problem, but it's the same thing. We're factoring it. Here's your answer. Okay. All right, same thing. Pause it. There's your answer. Okay, now look at this one. Notice that there's something that each of these has in common. Okay, so the first step when you see that is to pull it out. Okay. And then go through the process of factoring it just like we did. So once we've pulled out that 3, we've pulled out a common value that everything had. We're going to be able to factor it still. If we didn't do that, we would recognize something. I want you to think about maybe what it was. I would suggest what you can do is to investigate. Do this first, and then try and factor it without pulling the 3 out, and see what the difference is. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me show you what the answer is. Okay, we're almost getting to 10 minutes again. Shoot. Okay. All right, here's one. Look at it, pause it. I can give you the answer in class. Okay. And then there's a few more here. Pause it as you see these and bring questions. All right, let's go through this. This isn't an easy topic. It's important, but let's get through this and work together on it. Okay? All right, thanks.